Right, this is the long game category. This is RPGs and a Metroidvania, and I'm secretly doing this on a Monday instead of a Wednesday because I'm testing out. I've got a new mic stand thing that grabs onto the table. It means it can be right next to my face and I can turn the sound down. Hopefully that improves the sound quality. I've also got a new microphone, but I'm testing out one object at a time. Right, let's start with Lightning Returns, which has presumably been on the screen all this time if you're watching the video version of this. Just Google what's the name. It's got Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, i.e. also known as Final Fantasy 13 Part 3. I only played this for an hour or two. So, I mean, it's theoretically a long game. I just haven't played a lot of it. But, so the difference between 13 and 13.2 is, instead of 13 starts with, you have 6 characters, it takes 10 hours for them to even introduce certain aspects of the game. It has this system where you are juggling, types of characters rather than picking the individual spells. And that eventually gets good because you realise, that's when you're spinning plates and you're having to have the right people in the right moments, and there's a critical timing involved. That works out really well. At the start of the game, it's really fucking boring because you're like, why can't I just pick my spells? 13.2 is kind of exactly the same, apart from it gives you a lot of stuff immediately, and you're playing different characters, and one of your team members is a Pokemon. What is the third game? Well, the third game is actually quite different. You are now just Lightning, so you're not playing around with this team. You're using different abilities. I will have to revisit this next year, so we're probably going to get a better review of this next year. But there's an entire timing element now. It's the last game had time travel. There's different locations, and you are having to solve mysteries, and you have a time limit in which to get everything done. I didn't really talk about the plot of the second game. It's wacky time travel stuff. I mean, the thing about the plot of Final Fantasy 13 is it's already a bit wacky. But the second game is, we've saved her sister, but now her sister is, Lightning's been forgotten, and we have to do time travel to figure out why that's happening. And we've solved that. But now Lightning is back and the sister's gone again. But also the universe has ended, so it's just sort of in the last days of the universe and Lightning's trying to solve it. We have the clothing system again, where we're switching forms and we get different abilities. So what I will say, rather than review this game that I'm clearly not far enough in to properly do, there is a DLC for Final Fantasy 13-2, where you just play as Lightning, and you just have 3 or 4 basic modes that you do switch between, but you are picking your spells because you kind of have to. And it very much feels like they were testing out what Lightning Returns would be like. Kind of feels like that. There's presumably a lot more classes, and then the DLC has this weird thing where you just have to keep trying again, like it's a roguelike. And then they keep actually you're rubbish at this, have another ability, and eventually you'll have enough abilities to do the boss, and you're like, why didn't you just give me enough immediately? And say, well, you could have done it with less abilities. And I'm like, I don't think I could have. I think it's physically impossible, buddy, but whatever. But it seems interesting. I like that they've gone a new direction, but I haven't played far enough to really judge it properly. So look out for this review next year. Yakuza 0. My fucking word. Okay, Yakuza 0 is it's a beat-em-up RPG set in 1 or 2 districts of Japan in the 80s. It is a prequel. So Yakuza 1 was the original game, and they've added this prequel where you play as 2 guys. I'm going to look up stuff. What is the core appeal of the Yakuza series? It's that it's somehow like a sort of Spanish soap opera. The mafia storylines are they take themselves so seriously and they're so dramatic, and there's this beautiful thing where they old men fight each other and they put their hands on their shoulder and they somehow rip off like an entire suit's worth so they can fight without their suits on, topless, and like everything is so over dramatic. But then when you do all the side quests, everything's really fucking silly, and you're just exploring this town again and again and again. Yakuza 0 revolves around 2 characters. We flip back and forth between the main guy and the side guy. That's Kiryu and Majima. And Kiryu has to deal with this conspiracy about this real estate plot, this tiny plot of land that's somehow causing all these problems for the mafia. And it's cool because it's like, oh, it's the 80s, it's all about real estate. And Majima is... The thing is, if you go in this like I did, not knowing where Majima ends up, it's one story. But if you know where he's heading up, it's like this tragic irony. Sorry, I hit a thing. I didn't need to hit a thing. It's long as fuck, I won't lie. I kind of enjoy the more hilarious, serious story rather than the funny on purpose stuff. The fighting system's not terribly involved. You'll just bring a bunch of food with you everywhere, but it's fine. You can just sort of mash your way through stuff and it's a load of fun. It's funny playing the game going, I don't know if I really want to do the side content, but also that's the thing that everyone likes about the game. And then suddenly people on stream is like, well, actually, you've got to do those. So you've got to run that. I was about to say brothel. You don't run a brothel. You run a cabaret, a mini cabaret club, which involves you like having to. It's like men come in and they drink with the local women. I guess that's a thing. And you're going to be the best damn cabaret guy. You already were the best cabaret, but the mini cabarets are where it's at. And also you run a real estate agent, a real estate business, which is, on theme, but not really something I expected as a full-on goddamn side quest. Didn't finish one. I didn't finish either of them, but I got further in the cabaret because it's like there's plots involved in all of them. You're going to spend 100 hours just invested in this world. And of course, you can sort of predict some of where it's going because it has to go into Yakuza 1. But also, a lot of people just straight up say, oh no, Yakuza 0 is the best one. Possibly because they had that restraint to go, no, we have to tell a full story involving these guys. But I love it for the dramatic soap opera stuff rather than the silly stuff. But there's some of I love the karaoke. In fact, the way the karaoke is involved in the main story to make you like the sense of sort of brotherhood with one of the characters and how it dramatically like they do that really well. Some of it's really good, and the plot twists are nice and fun. But I enjoy that they don't kill anyone. We smash people's heads against walls quite violently, and I'm pretty sure we exploded a helicopter at some point. But canonically, we are the nicest Yakuza. Possibly some situations would be solved if we just did shoot a couple of people, but no, we have a code and we can never break the code. Even the guy who's crazy and he's a mad dog, that guy, he's never going to kill anyone either, presumably. But yes, if you have time, because obviously you don't go into Yakuza playing Yakuza 0, you've just now you've got 17 more games to play. Good luck. Speaking of which, I played Yakuza Kiwami for an hour. That hour was long enough, by the way, for me to see a guy who is introduced in a side quest in 0. So I was like, I have to go back and finish 0. It looked exactly the same. I appreciate that it's a remake or a remaster of the original one. I didn't get far enough to see how the systems changed or not, but it appeared to be identical as far as I could tell. So it's just... I just need to know if the story's good. The story of 0, by the way, I enjoyed. I enjoyed the story, the twists and turns, and all the dramatic fighting of that one guy who just... I wasn't expecting to fight that one guy 5 times, but I get it. He's a persistent guy. You'll love him by the end of the game. But I don't know enough about 0 to say a thing. So, again, look forward to me playing this, because it's literally December now. If I play these games again, they will be in next year's review as well. That's how that works. Some things will overlap. One Piece Odyssey. I am like 7-8 hours into One Piece Odyssey. I wanted to play this because it looked like a proper RPG, but in the One Piece universe, One Piece fan. I will say, immediately you jump in And you're like, there's so many systems, and there have to be so many systems because there's so many powers in one piece. There's not just the rock paper scissors. Somebody's got kung fu and somebody's got a sword play, and that's their own discipline. And I kind of really like how they involved those. There's a character called Usopp, and Usopp is a liar and like he's a weak guy. So how do you involve him in attacks? Well, you see, he's got high crit chance because his faux moves might work on certain people who are weak to crit chance. I'm like, that's clever integration. And I was like, well, how are they gonna do this where you start with so many powers and then you meet somebody with that Metroidvania's you and or half your powers disappear? And I'm like, damn it. It's fair enough. I was like, it's very brave to have all the, but like, there's like a distance system because they've got to recreate how the powers work on TV. And Luffy punches from afar. His ability is a punch from afar, and so not only is there sort of rock paper scissors, not based on the magic, but more on like some people use swords, some people punch, and some people do guns, and that's the rock paper scissors of this game. But and you've got the distances near and far, and yeah, that all works quite well. You explore the place, you have sort of abilities that let you explore, so you use the little guy to go through holes and you use Luffy to punch from afar, but some characters can also do that. I will say the game slowed down a bit. The second gimmick of the game is you get teleported into your memory so you can get your abilities back, and wow, we get to go to Alabasta. I get to play the series, and then Alabasta was really fucking boring and I haven't played it since. A bit padded, that memory. I like the real world better than the memory, which is a shame because I was really, nostalgia's the whole point of me being here, but not. It was like being in a Kingdom Hearts version of like Aladdin. It was just like, I don't know if this one city really reflects that entire story arc. And I'm told after Alabasta it speeds up and I will enjoy it a bit more because I didn't need the game to slow the fuck down. Like, show me the sandy place and I go, ooh, look, there's Crocodile. And, I love those guys. That's all I needed. I didn't need you to have a series of side quests in this place that's like, help a guy out. It's like, this isn't the real guy. We're in memories. I don't give a fuck. I just show me the things I know and and let me play in the world I wanted to play. But like, padding aside, I actually really enjoyed it up until that moment then when it slowed down. Where are we? We only have one left. Those are all RPGs, but I'm putting Silksong in this section because I didn't want to put it in a different section. Okay, Hollow Knight Silksong. So I didn't finish the original Hollow Knight. I didn't know it got massively popular, partly due to the pandemic. But it was a game that I had a tough time playing. I got to a certain boss and I slowed down and then I forgot to play it some more. I will go back. Silksong's much harder insofar as like I started the original game again to test this out and everything's a bastard now. Like the very first enemies will go towards you and they'll suddenly leap forwards or they'll back away. There's so many flying enemies in this game that will back away if you jump towards them. It's beep boop. It's been made purposely a bit of a bastard to play. That first game I think leans hard on exploration. This one leans harder. It's got all the exploration in. It's a Metroidvania. It's got like so many different areas. The game is so big. It's entirely possible to finish the game and not know a third of the game is left. That's how big it is. I've spent 80 hours. I've not even finished Act 2. But like your movement is so much better in this game than the original. You have a sprint button. So you'll be constantly sprinting everywhere and flying and jumping and dodging to the side and stuff, and that all flows really nicely. The thing that makes this game hard is that every single enemy has body damage. They won't just attack you. If you touch them, you take damage. So it's just really harsh. You're supposed to know, the ant area is an optional area, come back when you're stronger, but nobody's doing that. You're just going to be like, I fucking hate these bastard ants. You have this ability to hit downwards in things on monsters, which you had in the first game, but it was directly downwards, so you pogo in the first game, which is an ability I didn't really know because I didn't ingratiate myself with the internet community. I just played the game. Whereas now I know pogo's a thing, and you get a diagonal attacks, which is much harder when you first get to that area where you have to use it a lot. That's a filter for a lot of people. A lot of things are a filter for a lot of people in this game, because when you get to certain bosses, the game's like, I hope you good game, because not only do you have to fight the boss, but you have to spend fucking 4 minutes getting back to the boss. Yeah, so it's mean. It's a mean game, but it's very rewarding. This game also has items you can use. Think Bloodborne. You know in Bloodborne where you could heal yourself and you'd have to keep going, collecting blood to heal yourself. You have to do that if you're not very good at the game like me. You're going to lean into the tools quite a lot. You get a poison one, and suddenly a lot of things are a lot easier because you can put pins on the ground and they step on the pins, and you get like drones at some point, and suddenly you're like, oh, cool, like the easy options. The game's still not easy with all those, but it means I can keep up with the good players. But it means also I have to grind for resources on my off time, because I will burn through them all, and the game is still very hard with them still. But it's nice to be able to melt through certain bosses, although you're not going to know if a boss requires melting or not. Some of them just feel like, yeah, you know what, fuck that boss, I'm going to use all the poison. And other times you use the poison and all the abilities and you go, I kind of wish I did that without. Can I try again without? Hopefully they'll release a mode with the bosses so I can play them again without having to do the fucking runbacks. Individual bosses are very fun. Traveling around is very fun, but it is arduous. It does have a swamp area. It is a fucking bastard swamp area. It's very... Dark Souls eventually learned lessons and made Elden Ring, which Hollow Knight, apparently they just didn't go on the internet for 5 years and were like, no, we're making this game and we're going to be the ones to test it, so it might not be appropriate for people new, but you know, people get through. It's very good. I should add, it's a very pretty game. The first game was very pretty. I know a lot of people didn't like that art style. I just thought it was good in the first place, but like, it's night and day. It's actually a much better looking game. There is so much that I haven't said. It's just like, if you're remotely interested in the genre, I would recommend picking that up. Even if you sort of bounced off the original game, like a Pogo, I'd check it out. It's cheap. Like, it's like 16 quid or something? I think it might be 20 quid now. I think it might be a good deal. Give it a go. But just know that this is going to be your life for a while, unless you're really good at those games. And who the fuck am I talking to if you're really good at those games? You've already bought the game. But yes, Hollow Knight Silksong. Hope the mic's good. I should try out the one I bought. Also, as a little bit on the end, when I say new mic stand, it's the one with the arms, so I attach it to something and I lean the two arms. It means I can sit back in my chair and I'm moving the mic towards myself, and the new mic will be in the cradle, so you won't even be able to hear me moving about. But unfortunately, it's slightly too high. I need a slightly shorter table. Anyway, it's always something, you know. It's always something. My setup, it should improve the setup. I should have the mic right next to my face. That'd be nice. I'll be able to talk very quietly, and I'll be able to enunciate all I like. I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, Silksong.